Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tea and Coffee with Paula and
Jay. And good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Monday. It's been a good weekend, and looks like we have the studio sealed. It's got its staining done. Yay!
Yay!
For those keeping track of our progress as we're fixing and doing the studio, we are getting closer and closer.
Yes.
Good job.
The shed is grey, which matches
Shed?
the studio. The studio is grey, and it matches our shed, which is also grey. That's a good color matching.
You did. Yeah, you took a picture, you took it to the store, the color matched, and we got two gray little buildings, tiny buildings, no plumbing.
And it got done over the week. My body is sore.
She did a good job using that little electric sprayer to get it on there, a couple coats, and here we go.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of catching up. I did a Windows update, and some things just didn't want to work this morning. So we caught up on that. We're back in business. Update your computer so you don't get hacked, but sometimes you have to play around with your USB devices and other things.
Yeah.
So good thing there's a built-in tech guy. Do you know a good tech guy?
I do know a good tech guy. Do you know a good laborer?
Yeah, general labor. Yeah, you definitely do some general labor. You do a good job.
Oh, the pig is here. Wilbur is here. He's moved in.
Yeah, and he.
Oh my! And he escaped. So we have these black gates that we inherited on the property, and they've been very, very useful when it comes to corralling and keeping our animals in a pen. And we figured this will be a perfect spot for Wilbur when he is, when it's bedtime, and then we're going to let him out to graze.
Work great for the chickens.
Yeah, work great
for the chickens.
Work great for the chickens, no problem. And we have the entrance is like this big, 3x4 metal gate that you've got to lift up. Move out the way.
3x4 what?
The gate, the door.
That's not 3x4 feet.
What is that?
At best, that would be 3 feet by 2 maybe.
Okay, so
yeah. Well, 4 feet by 3 would be quite large.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you got to lift it up, move it out the way. Critter comes out.
Critter.
Anyway, so after being a couple of days in the pen, we figured, all right, I'll give him some. I let him out, walked around, walked with the dogs. Everyone's being friendly. And then I'm able to corral him back into the pen. Okay, let's do it again. But by this time, he's like, oh, this is where I come in and out. This is how the door opens. Clever little bugger. Anyway, so done. He's packed
Did anybody predict that?
Yes.
I know pigs are smart, so they watch.
They are.
Yeah, and he saw that gate would go up. And what did he try and do?
Yeah.
What did he succeed at?
Yeah, so I'm inside after the long day. I'm about to go have a shower. And then Jason calls me and says, is Wilbur meant to be out? I'm like, no. He says he's by the studio. I'm like, son of a gun. Come out, have a look. And yet, lo and behold, the gate is gone. And he's strutting around. The dogs are keeping company. And yeah, so now he's got back in the pen for, no issue. Show him a feed bucket. He follows you. But now we've got these locks on either side of the door for him. And look, and in front of me, because I stayed and kept him company, in front of me, he went back to the gate, trying to just working his way. I'm like, sorry, buddy. So yeah, and what he's there this morning, sleeping away, so he's fine.
Yeah, they're actually tie downs or strapped and make big metal ones for the trucks, wenches, whatever they're called. But 2 of them, there's no way he's getting out this time. But I did suspect that because that was a weak point. All he has to do is lift it at about 3 inches, and that thing will open.
He can do the rest.
And he lifted it far further than I thought. I think he was going to lift it a bit, get the bottom out, and push. No, he lifted the whole thing off. So he went about 3-4 inches to get it straight up, and probably just flew off.
Yeah. No.
So there's our adventures. We got an escaped pig, but he didn't go too far.
The adventures in pig farming.
Yeah. And welcome to the Living Show Monday. I'm feeling pretty good. We got a lot going on over the weekend and lots of stuff on X. Okay, so we're going to be going through that. We got Barry Bussey, a lawyer. He did an opinion piece. He wrote an article. And we'll get into that when he gets here. So he'll be joining us at the 30-minute mark. It's about AI and timeless principles of a modern world. So we like this guy. He does good work. Get rid of this little thing. Get yourself ready. But let's get ourselves going on X because there's a lot going on. And by the way, how was your weekend, everybody? Put it in the post.
Yeah, I hope you had a great weekend.
Let us know how you guys are doing. All right, let's bring this up. Good morning. All right, so if you want to follow us on X, I am Jason Levine AB, and you are?
I am, what am I? I am Team Page, PAJ.
And you'll find some good stuff there. I am pretty active, a little bit more active than Paula is. But yeah, if you want to learn about the pig and what else do you post?
I don't, I'm not one for social media. I will post stuff if there's an article on women's issues, keeping women in sports. I will post about, subjects regarding Down syndrome, things like that, because that is something near and dear to our hearts, because our youngest has Down syndrome, those of you who don't know. And yeah, just anything funny that comes across my way, I'll repost, but primarily it would be stuff that Jason is more into the main media and news sharing. So something catches my eye that I feel like needs a repost, I'll do that.
She boosts me all the time. Without her, we wouldn't get the audience we got. All right, so here we go. Lots of stuff was going on. If you want to disarm some crazy people that are trying to enforce non-laws and non-rules, this is the way you do it. So go check this one out. I said, well done, calm, clear, and confident. That's how you disarm tyrannical morons. This is a woman who was just doing interviews in a public space, and the security and the event organizer popped up and said, you need to leave. I guess they thought she was like conservative or something. She wasn't harming and bothering anybody, but she was ready because she's been through this before in public space. She's allowed to do it. She had to bring her lawyer involved in a similar one at another farmer's market. And yes, this is how you do it, though. This is why I'm highlighting this. You just stay calm, you stay clear, you stay confident, you just stick to the facts, you don't yell and
know
scream.
The facts, know what the actual facts are and the rules,
And what ends up happening is they absolutely back down. There was absolutely nothing they can do because she was correct. And but they tried. They really tried to intimidate her, brought over a couple of security. She didn't fall for it. So good on that.
Yeah, well done.
So if you want a good example of how to respond to some crazies that are trying to just intimidate you and force you to do something, there's a good example. This is France, not India. So to be clear, as you see in this video, this is France, not India. I don't care if there's religious ceremonies and people want to do things like throw tomatoes or bust up coconuts or whatever. But the problem is it's going all over the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So there may be a tradition here with, I think it was Hindi or something like that, but you don't see the running of the bulls all over the world. You only see it in Spain.
Correct.
You don't see hockey being played in the streets all over the world. You only see where it is. So when these kind of traditions or ceremonies are spreading, it's usually a pretty good indicator that that community is much larger. And when they go ahead and take the streets, like you have prayers here in Canada, they're taking over. This is kind of where I'm going with this one. So just giving you all a heads up, keep an eye in Canada, maybe not during winter, there'll be frozen coconuts, but coming to a Canadian street near you, import the third world, become the third world. Because obviously this is a third world activity. They're destroying stuff. It means something to them, but certainly to a first world, it looks odd.
I'd love to even actually see what did they do regarding cleanup afterwards. Was it okay, we're done, walk away, or was there actually time taken to clean up after themselves?
Good question. Don't know. But there you go. That's France, not India. And France, by the way, in the G7 has the highest unemployment rate, and we have the second highest unemployment rate. So France and us are kind of going in the same direction when it comes to our public policies, importing immigrants and stuff like that. Here we go. 12-year-old charged with attempted murder 2 days ago in Markham, Ontario. Ontario, you are just falling apart.
You are terrible.
Yeah, and he was out on bail at the time of the shooting, and he was released again on bail. So bail for people, even if they're violent offenders with firearms. But the good thing for this guy is he didn't protect his home from a home invader.
Oh, right.
So he would have been in a lot more trouble.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Right. But as a 12-year-old, I bet you he just received a timeout, and he said he was going to be a good boy. And then if he shoots anybody else, he might lose his iPad.
Well, he got bail. So he was, clearly he was a good boy.
So my point here is when you're soft on crime and you have your police chiefs telling the public to just give in to the criminals, this is what's going to happen. especially the youth, they know that they are kind of untouchable,
yeah.
right? They're underage. Now, it's not true that they're totally untouchable, but they certainly get a lot more
There's a
leniency.
phone number they can call just to report others against.
Right. And I would suspect, there's a suspicion, that there's an adult or an older person involved and kind of encouraging this because they don't want to be caught.
Yeah.
So this is sad. Ontario is definitely falling apart fast. Senator Warren's a moron. You can go see this one. She seems to think that because Robert Kennedy said that he would not stop any of the working vaccines, but he did stop vaccines, and that she's got him in a gotcha. No, you moron.
Yeah.
This means that they're not working vaccines. Simple as that. So yeah, we kind of saw that. It doesn't look like you guys like the U.S. news much at all. Sometimes it shocks me and I post it, but anyways. Here we go again in Ontario. This is the one we brought up to you, I think it was Friday, because this guy has a long list of charges. There's now 2 of them. But allegedly ran into a 21-year-old female car, disabling her car, kidnapped her by force and throwing her in the van, stole her keys, went into her home, shot her dad. Ontario.
I should do.
Yeah, good job, Ontario. This is exactly what happens when you tell the criminals that you protect them more than
exactly.
everybody else.
Exactly.
So get used to it. You're going to see a lot more of this in Ontario, because that was York Region that said, and I think he's starting to try and backtrack it, but the message is out. The charges for the guy in, where was he? I want to say Leslie, but that's another one. Like, there's so many things in Ontario to try and keep track of. But be harder on crime. Don't give the criminals a path forward, because they're taking it. Our good friend Dan Hartman, he's got his date.
Yeah.
So this is good. January 26, 2026. We're going to check our calendar and see if we can get out there for this. This should be in Ontario. But unlike Detective Helen Gruss, there will be a Zoom link for this. So you can contact, there will be a link provided 3 weeks before. So pay attention to this one. This is the lawsuit against Pfizer, wrongful death. They haven't been successful in getting rid of it, Pfizer. So they'll be going ahead. This originally had the government in it, but they got kicked off because they had a motion that said they don't have a duty of care. So let's pay attention to Dan Hartman's upcoming court date.
Yeah.
January 26, 2026. Put in your calendar.
And he's an excellent poster. He'll keep you
for sure. If you don't follow Dan, it's Answers for Sean, the number 4 Sean, because he's searching for answers for his son Sean. But lots of good posts there.
A quick question here from the chat. Is there a gag order under the Gruss proceedings?
No, there are some publication bans on the witness names, the children's names, the parents' names. You can't release those if you ever find them out. But no, there's no gag order on her either. But she has a threat of loss of employment if she talks.
Yeah.
So maybe an implied gag order on her, because she can't go out on public and podcasts and stuff like that. They threaten her job if she does that, because she's still an officer right now.
Correct.
And all public appearances by officers must go through the media division of the police, and they're not approving anything for her. All right. So for pest control, okay, this is kind of a little funny one. Jeff Evely, he's a good guy. You're going to see a lot more of him. He's going to be working with us, and we'll get into that in a minute. But these are legal. Now, these aren't guns. These are BBs or pellet guns. But he's saying, there's or pest control. Hello to JD. Let's see what her full name is. JD. We'll just go with that.
Jade.
Jade?
Yes.
Well, you can split into JD.
Jade.
Jade, thank you. I got fact checked real time here. We're just fine. She's highlighting that she was never an Alberta separatist. She never wants to become a fit for a state. That's why she voted for Pierre, among other things. But she's kind of waking up. She's kind of waking up. It's like this Carney government, there's no stopping them. Pierre's weak. And especially if you're out west, we're not going to be seeing a conservative government anytime soon. No. Canadians have made it clear. It's going to take a lot more before they start to wake up. So she's more open to those ideas than ever before. So come join us.
Yes.
Jade. I had JD in my head the entire time. Look at that, JD, Jade. A couple more here. This is news to me. I have no idea. I've seen it from here. You can see Speaker Mike Johnson from the U.S. He says it, but he's talking about Trump being an FBI informant for the Epstein case. Is that why they're not bringing him forward?
That would be huge.
Huge. I don't know. I'm poking fun again at Carney because there's pictures of him with Maxwell. And maybe he was a informant for CSIS then, because anybody who's in a picture, maybe they can just say they were an informant and get off the hook.
The feds are everywhere.
This one really bothered you, though. This whole Epstein, Trump, there's no list, nothing to see here thing.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you've been harping on for so many years about it. And it's become part of popular culture now. Like, where is this list? It's no different from what he didn't do to himself in prison.
Yeah.
It's just complete hoo-ha. Of course, there's something more to it. And nothing, apparently.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the shady.
Ghislaine's been convicted of only trafficking, I guess, to Epstein himself. That would be it. And all the time we heard about a list. And I
love it because there's this meme from The Office where typically it's Jim from The Office pointing to a whiteboard. And it's like, whatever, something's written. And there's like, there was meant to be Ghislaine pointing, like, if there is no list, why am I in prison?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, there's something fishy there. There for sure. Jade posted that she's going to be boycotting any business that hires Indians. I'm so over all of this. Liberals have ruined this country. Jade, you're a slow starter. We haven't been using Tim Hortons for quite some time. Even KFC.
We boycotted them too.
Yeah, and JJ understands. Like, you're like, can we go to KFC? We're like, well, we can't. They went halal.
Go to Goldie's in Drayton Valley instead.
Yep. Go support something local, something smaller. And by the way, it's better chicken. Yeah. Because KFC has gone all crazy in the last 10 years or so. Mm-hmm. It's not as good as it used to be. You might be eating nostalgia. You might be remembering it better.
A lot of it. Well, that's brand loyalty right there.
Well, I think they earned it back then because it was good. I remember KFC being good. It's nothing like that anymore. So
was it finger licking?
It was. Yeah, and definitely we don't go to Tim Hortons. No. I stopped going a couple of years ago. The drive-through, getting things right. I tried to buy that big box of coffee. I was bringing coffee for. It was Detective Helen Gruce's matter. That was the last time I went to Tim Hortons. So I'm in Ontario. They had no idea how to do it. Not a clue. Mm-hmm. It took like 4 or 5 of them to try and get it. They didn't even know what I was talking about. I'm like, the box of coffee.
Now you know how I felt ordering food in Quebec with my accent. I used to get so much grief. It's your accent. You got to say it the Canadian way. Because I'd say, well, whatever I would say.
Water?
Yeah, exactly.
Say
whatever. Water. People. But yeah, and so, you're not saying it properly. Well.
You're not hearing it properly.
Yeah. Exactly.
We love our good friend Paul Derry. He's good for posting. If you want to see somebody uncovering the RCMP, remember he was an informant for a while, but now he's an informant for us. He's providing information.
He's an informant for the world right now. Yeah.
Double agent Paul Derry. But do check it out because what he's highlighting here is the RCMP basically dictates what they will and will not show in court, even if they're the defendant. Oh boy, wouldn't that be great if you could do that too? But I guess when it's a federal system, federal police, federal courts, federal, they all work for the same team. They all get the same checks. So I guess they can just do whatever they want. But if you don't know who Paul Derry is, go check him out. He was an informant. He went undercover starting at the age of 17. I think he was 17 and he was in there for 17 years. Or he was part of an operation.
I thought he was 15.
Yeah, I think you're right. He was younger. I think he was 15. And he saw a lot of things. He did a lot of work. He saw the police would turn a blind eye to things because, they can. It's not to serve and protect anymore. We'll be getting to my jug meat post, which did well. This is another one. Because I'm not sure if you know this, but the NDP have limited the signatures for the leadership race. Do you know how I had to collect signatures for my...
Oh, yes.
Right. You can only have up to 50% cis male. You can only have up to 50% cis male. The rest has to be everything else.
I'm sorry, is that a column on the form when people are signing to declare?
So here's the
what they
problem.
are?
I'm calling for with their leadership requirements that limit straight male voices. The NDP should not be allowed to be a party anymore for violating the charter as a policy of the party, because you can't do gender, you can't
That's-
do preferences anymore. These were
Mhm.
things that were added by this particular group, but yet they're violating it themselves as a policy for the leadership race.
Yeah.
This should end the NDP completely.
So
Pack
one
it
of the
up.
many reasons to end the NDP.
Well, this is, I think, could be the final nail. And I love how the press keeps using him. He's long gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. And they're calling it cis. That's a Marxist term. We
Yeah.
don't use those terms, but that's what they're using.
Yeah, exactly, Crystal. Pardon me.
Yep. Yep.
I would agree.
Now, I guess if you identify as a cis male, maybe then you can sign.
But again, where is it?
Or not sign, identify as anything else. But that's the whole point. They're trying to say like 50% are not.
No.
Yeah, anyways. NDP is
Big eye roll there.
not a
people.
Democratic Party. There you
Yeah.
go. NDP, not a Democratic Party. Join us Saturday nights. Don't bring the kids though. This is not a show for the kids. Saturday night show matchup. Source One. You're going to be hearing that name a lot because we're launching a new network of independent journalists that are coming together. We call it Source One.
Mhm.
There's about 26 of us now starting to work together. We've got some great names that are helping us put this together. We'll release more of this information as we're rolling things out. But we do think that independent journalists needs to have a strong base, strong network of people coming together. Based. And we call it Source One. So
Yeah.
keep an eye on that. But you can join our Saturday night shows. It's going to be myself, Nico Lagan, and Jeff Evely will be the regulars. And then we're going to be bringing on additional people to have conversations about the topics that you don't hear anywhere else. And you also don't hear on like a morning show. So definitely come check it out every Saturday. Mark down your calendar. That's 7 p.m. We're up late. Mountain, 9 Eastern. And it's for 2 hours. So come check it out. We had our first show with Corey Morgan, journalist from Western Standard. Gov Corrupt. Definitely follow him on X. Because he definitely exposes a lot. He was the one that called Mark Carney way before people knew who Mark Carney was. And Tiana, Truth Seeker, she definitely has opinions.
She was hilarious with her true comments.
Yep.
Her presentation was just fantastic.
Yep. So if you haven't seen that one, go check it out. It's getting a lot of views. People do like that time slot. We'll make some tweaks to the show, but do check it out every Saturday. We're trying to bring you that.
Colleen did. And there's her comment.
Right on, Colleen. I hope you enjoyed it. Certainly not for the kids. But we definitely cover the harder topics there.
Yeah.
So join us. Here we go. Dr. Fool is at it again. This guy, he just came across my desk a couple days before this post. Dr. Neil Stone is a propagandist. He's harmful. I hope he gets karma. I hope something... bless you. I hope something comes of his post one day. He posted that there was the hospitals were full, overworked with the unvaxxed. That was BS. There's never been any evidence of that other than people like him saying it. But here's another gem from this fool. mRNA vaccines don't cause cancer, he says. Smoking causes cancer. Asbestos causes cancer. Well, look at data, my friend. So my post to him is Dr. Fool is at it again. So, doctor, how do you explain the recent rise in cancers that have been, and when there's been drops in both smoking and asbestos?
Yeah.
So here's the actual data. There's definitely a rise in cancer, especially among the young people. Dropping in smoking, it's not cool anymore. They've been dropping that number a lot over the years. And here's some more stats, especially amongst the young people, the same ones that are getting cancer. And asbestos has been on the decline since the 70s.
Yeah.
No people are, especially young people, are being exposed to asbestos anymore. So he's a propagandist. He's just trying to twist things. And it's unfortunate that he is out there doing that. But hopefully karma will get him. Yes, Leslie liked it. That's not Les Lie, right? That's Leslie.
That'd be hilarious if that was Les Lie.
There you go. Less lies. But she loved the show as well, so do check it out. It was a lot of fun. Had some fun there.
Yeah, we got some more comments in our locals chat and again here on YouTube. It was a great show. Looking forward to more.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some more too. Let my hair down. What little I have. Hey, Barry, we'll see you in a few minutes here, bud. Brian Lilly. Is that right? Lilly?
Where is it? Oh, yes. I would assume.
You would assume?
I would
You
assume.
make an ass out of you and me? Oh, gotta swear. He released some data. So the York Region Police, who's really famous now for his comments about just let them do what they want, he's lying. So he's saying crime was down, but you go to the website and you pull up your own data, his own website,
Yeah.
pull up your own data. Crime is spiking all over the place. It's astonishing. Here, we'll pull up some of the numbers here. Between 2019 2024, carjackings increased by 523%, shoplifting by 296%, auto thefts up 133%, arsons up 112%, assaults 59%. And then they actually break down some numbers. 2019, there were, 13 carjackings. And then last year, there were 81. In 2019, there were 1,409 instances of shoplifting. Last year, there were 5,578. Lovely.
Those are crazy numbers.
Right. So what I did is I kind of pulled up some numbers off the Government of Canada website, 2019 to 2024, the exact same period. What else was up? Immigration. So in 2019, 305,807. This is the, what are they called now? The International Mobility Program, 150% increase for that same period. So from 305,000 to 765,000 in 2023. And this is data provided to the Parliament on immigration. So this is the government's own numbers. And then the temporary foreign working program as well, which is making all the headlines, but isn't the bulk of the problem, went from 98,000 to 184,000 during that same period. So it must be a coincidence, right?
Correct.
Right. Especially things like shoplifting and violent crimes and stuff must be a coincidence. You're seeing a spike in immigration, a spike in crime. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here, folks. But when the police chief is willing to lie about data, go onto TV and lie about his own data,
misrepresent it and all that.
Yeah, to protect and serve is the new safe and effective. It's just a motto. It's just propaganda. It doesn't mean what the words say.
Yeah, exactly. It's just words.
Yep. So I have this post is doing quite well. Gentle reminder that Jagmeet Singh, I think, is the one that's most responsible for our downfall, because if he didn't prop up the Liberals and make deals, we wouldn't be where we're at.
He sold.
He did 30 pieces of silver, right?
A dental program.
Yeah, totally. So I'll quickly read it to you all because we want to get to Barry. So Canada, a gentle reminder, as much as I dislike the Liberals, Justin Trudeau and now Mark Carney, the truth is that Jagmeet Singh is the one who's most responsible for the downfall of Canada. He sold out his religion, his party, and our nation for his personal gain. He graduated from the Young Global Leaders Program of the WEF. He pushed race-based cancel culture with DEI. He took the deal, payoff possibly, from Trudeau to prop up the Liberal minority governments in 2019 and 2021, and the collapse of his party handed the Liberals a win in 2025. Without saying, the Liberals would have fallen in 2019 before the COVID lies, the convoy crackdown, the many vax injured and dead, the mass migration from India, and the collapse of our economy. Now he has just slipped away to enjoy his millions while the rest of us try to pick up the pieces. I think he is public enemy number one, and we should never forget what he did. It was criminal. He's a traitor. He should be in prison for the rest of his life. The world agreed. 372,000 views on this one, 10,000 likes, 2,800 reposts, etc. Almost 1,000 comments. The world agreed, except one person. One person decided to throw a community note on it. Yeah, not the brightest bulb in the shed. So I'll quickly take you through this, because if you agree with me, maybe you can go click that button and let them know. But so the notes is false. Okay, so first they brought up 4 points that they're trying to community note me on. First one was Jagmeet Singh isn't listed as a WF Young Global Leader. They used the Young Global Leader's website and only the website from the Young Global Leader to kind of make their point. Unfortunately for them, Jagmeet Singh absolutely was on the Young Global Leader program. If you go to the website, the Young Global Leaders website doesn't show anybody prior to their class of 2025. They keep scrubbing it. But the WEF has kept it. So the WEF itself, which is what my comment was, let me recheck cookies from them.
Reject the cookie.
They still have it up. So World Economic Forum's website, class of 2018, And here we go. Dun, dun, dun. There he
There he
is.
is.
He is definitely a graduate from the Young Global Leaders Program. I didn't make that up. This was common knowledge. But this notes guy says because he's not on that website anymore, then it doesn't exist anymore. Liar. Also say Canada approved 234 vaccine injury claims out of 40 million plus doses, and then gives some math to try and minimize the crap out of that. That has nothing to do. It doesn't directly attack any of my stuff. In fact, it kind of proves there are vaccine injuries even admitted by Canada, at least 234. But also their math is wrong because more than 40 million doses have been handed out because several people got both, and then a bunch of boosters. So that number is probably well past 100 million doses. So even their claims against me are not even factually correct. The person said, sing back liberal minorities to pass NDP priorities like dental care. Thanks for making my point.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I said he made deals. Now you're telling us one of the reasons why he made the deal. That's the 2022 deal he made for dental care. But the other deals were to allow Sikhs and Indians into the country, lower the bar for immigration, turn a blind eye to the Khalistanis. There's a lot more deals going on there at the public. If you take a closer look, you'll understand. And then the last one, supporting a government via confidence in supply is legal, not criminal. Trying to tie in my criminal comment to one of the points. First of all, the supply and confidence in supply deal may actually be criminally illegal. There is under the criminal code, bribery of an official to maintain their office is a particular thing in the criminal code. It only applies to people in office. And when Singh and Justin made a deal to each other that saved their seat, technically, it could be criminal, but that wasn't my point. My point was he's a traitor. That's the criminal part. Overall, in totality, he's a criminal. And I guess the rest of my claims are true.
Yeah, because these are
the only ones. But anyways, community notes, it has a good purpose. This isn't it. They're trying to shut down because the post got popular. And unfortunately for them, I don't think it's worked well. Barry, one more moment. We'll be with you. Go check out the Bruce Party episode. Okay, it's very popular. People are loving it. I posted it late. Go check it out. He is a genius. I think he's going to help fix Alberta and Canada. One of the biggest takeaway is you don't need a Bill of Rights for the people. He highlights how the government has unlimited powers, except for the ones listed in the Bill of Rights or the Charter. They're basically saying we are unlimited in power, but here's where we won't execute the power. He says flip that, flip the default. The government should have no power by default, except for the ones listed. Right. So if you listen to this interview and you put your thinking cap on, I think you're going to be blown away. Because even the U.S. should be taking a look at this. We shouldn't have a Bill of Rights. We should have a Bill of Allows. Like, what is the government allowed to do? And if it's not listed there, then they're not allowed to. We talk about life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and also the Second Amendment as examples. Those will be default. Of course you have those. Only when the government can take away those is under these conditions. You become a criminal. You are limited on your liberty because you have to go to jail, for example. Due process has to be there. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant guy. Do check it out. I think that's where we're going to leave it.
And Pietro, I'm glad you agreed. A really awesome interview with Bruce Party from Pietro. So he was up a little late last night.
We can see us in X. So, folks, thank you very much for that little update on the news. We definitely have an excellent guest for you here today. It's going to be Barry. Barry, I hope you're ready. I know you've been watching for a little bit. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. I tell you, there's a lot of interesting things you're involved there.
Yeah, no, we're trying to keep busy on this side, bring this information to our audience, give some value in the morning. And now that you're here, we actually are adding value. So thank you so much for joining us, Barry.
Well, it's value just to follow you, Jason, and see the exciting things that are happening. But yeah, absolutely. Glad to be with you.
No, it's awesome. And you've been on the show a couple times now, I think. This might be your third appearance or so. Who's counting? But really glad to see that you're also very busy. You're putting out articles, you're covering great subjects, and you're sharing them with us, which is always helpful because it brings it to our attention. And you were flexible. It was Monday, Tuesday. Okay, Monday. Let's do it Monday.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Well, you know what? When we're wanting to talk about AI, artificial intelligence, it's something that has I've been kind of following a little bit over the last little while, but the more I dig into it, the more like nobody should not be uh, in the blind when it comes to this issue, because the reality is uh, this is coming up on us like a friend of mine said recently, is like 1,000-foot tsunami headed our way. And it seems like we're all on the beach collecting seashells, not even thinking about what's about to hit us. And it's already, I mean, already the little ripples are coming into shore, but I mean, that tsunami is headed our way. And whether you're looking at Gregory Hinton or Dr. Roman Yamplowski, I mean, theirs is something that we all need to be concerned about, and we need to be concerned about it now, and figure out, okay, what on earth are we going to be doing about our future? And we're not talking like a long ways out. We're talking like 1-2 years. I mean, just a recent interview with Dr. Roman was highlighting how in just 2 years, so 2027, 99% of all jobs will be able to, we'll have the technology to be able to do 99% of all jobs in the West. So, I mean, like, think about that for a minute. I mean, what does that mean? What does it mean when it comes to what people do with their time? And what does it mean with, the advanced ongoing developments of AI, where we're going to get into the super intelligence concept, or the concept of the singularity? And we can talk about what all these mean. But it just strikes me that in the short term, we're in for a major shakeup in our world, and we have got to get serious about it right now. This is not like, okay, well, 20 years from now or all the rest of it. No, this is now, and we need to be educating ourselves, and we need to start thinking about, okay, so what does that mean, and how do we prepare for that? Those are the questions that I think are extremely important.
You're speaking Paula's language here, because she worries about the rise of the robots all the time, in private and in public. But yeah, Paula, what are your thoughts about what Barry's saying about AI?
Yeah, I agree completely. It's happening faster and faster. Like, we come from a time where there was no internet, at least as we know it. And then we've even got to see the development of technology. And before, technology used to take years to improve. Now it's so fast. It's happening. Then it would be years, and then months, and then weeks, and then all of a sudden there's a new edition, there's a new version coming out quicker and quicker. And I speak to my boys about this, like the development and the evolution of different forms of technology is unbelievable. So we've got to see it, really, the snowball just grow. And I agree completely where you say that we've got to be aware of it now. We've got to look for it now, because what is happening, I think we spoke about it maybe a couple of weeks ago. I says there's a lot of jobs now that we can see is already being replaced by AI. And I can only see those numbers and percentages growing. And like you said, 99% will eventually become, will be replaced. Or we're already complaining and suffering with regards to job opportunities. What's going to be the case where we're not necessarily fighting immigration that's taking our jobs, but we're now fighting AI.
100%. And Elon Musk, I don't know if you can love or hate him on this particular subject, because he's come out before and he said, okay, slow down. We need to slow down. It's going too fast. But yet he was one of the founding funders of OpenAI. He's got Grok, and he's also got the Tesla AI that drives around vehicles. So I'm not really sure where he lands on that one. But JD Vance scared me, Barry. So one of the first things he did as VP, one of the very first things, is he went to an AI conference in Europe, and he just said to them, hey, drop the safeguards. We need to move a lot faster. We need to put innovation before safety. And he was saying, if we don't, they will, implying China. So basically said, look, we have to drop our safeguards, because they're going to do that anyways. This is a race to the top, who has the best one. So they've accelerated this kind of development when the world is just starting to understand what it impacts are. And you're 100% right. When ChatGPT first came out, it was stupid. It was stupid.
dumb.
Full of
and then
hallucinations.
What's that?
I say it was full of hallucinations.
100%. You'd be like, hey, look, I got this legal case, and can you find me case law? It would create the case law.
Fantastic fiction.
Didn't exist. But then ChatGPT 4 really fixed that, and it got really much better at that. Now we're at 5. And this is one of the questions I asked Bruce Party in the interview. It was one of my last questions, because he was talking about a new way to do arbitration and how we settle disputes. Private is kind of where he said to go with that one. Use the courts to settle disputes about the dispute process, but that's about it. And I said, well, that's still human. Where are we going with AI? And he warned just like you are, that this is going to be a big mistake if we head in that direction. So I think you're in good company here. And I'm a technologist, and I definitely am concerned too.
Yeah, no, it's and also with the article that you referenced that I had on Epoch Times, one of the concerns I have is this concept of the inviolability of the person, which is what Justice Ivan Rand talked about back in 1953. And we came from I guess one of the most recent major tragedy. I mean, there's tragedies every day, of course. We've got things that's going on right now in the Ukraine, where we're getting the use of artificial intelligence in warfare for the first time, really, in such a major way, with the use of those drones and so on, and just in very cheap technology for the Ukrainians to be able to destroy. I think they said about 1/3 of the Russian airplanes that would deliver nuclear payloads. I mean, that was an extraordinary attack, but it also showed just exactly what's happening on the military side when it comes to AI technology. But just step back a bit and think about, well, what does it mean to be human in this new era in which we are facing? And this is one of the things that I point out a fair bit, which again, with our organization, with First Freedoms, it's freedom of speech, freedom of religion, but inviolability of the person, which we get right from Justice Ivan Rand's decision in 1953. Now, in 1953, they had just had the atrocities of World War II, where, I mean, genocide was genocide in the sense of wiping out and seeking to wipe out an entire race of people. And that's going to look like child's play to what is coming our way, or at least this is the fear of people. Not that I'm saying that, but this is what the inventors and the people who have been studying and involved in AI, like Dr. Hinton and Jan Pawlowski. I mean, we're looking at here now an extraordinary time where the concept of what it means to be human is it's a first principle, but what does it mean to be human? What makes you and I human? What is it? And I mentioned in the article the ancient concept of imago Dei, where basically we're made in the image of God, which is a ancient concept from the biblical literature that in the Judeo-Christian understanding of what does it mean to be human, and the idea is that mankind, which I know a lot of people don't like to use the term mankind, but in essence, it is the ancient word we have used, and I still think it's applicable. And we need to recognize that humanity is unique. And what will this new development with artificial intelligence do in taking away our humanity? Right now, we're the smartest living mammal on the planet. Soon we will have an intelligence on the planet that, according to the individuals who are creating this and watching it snowball, and as you say, all of the governors are being taken off because of its military use. It's now at a point where we've got to step back and say, I know, what on earth are we in for, and how do we prepare for that? and it's, one, anyhow, we can look at the individual things, like, for example, what do you do with all the time off, at least initially, where we have a situation, many people who go and retire, they say, great, it's like one guy said to me, it was great for the first 2 weeks. And then after that, I was like, so what do I do now? And who's going to, so there's that issue of employment. And people might say, okay, well, this is great. We won't have to worry about employment, but hold on there now. But who's going to pay for your keep? It's like I had a young fella, my son, say to me when he was 16, one of my boys, he says, Dad, I'm quitting. I said, what are you quitting? He said, I'm quitting school. I said, oh, well, he says, I'm 16. I can quit now. And I said, oh, okay. So where are you going to live? What do you mean where I'm going to live? I'm going to live at home. I said, okay. So who's paying the rent?
You are.
Yeah. Who's paying the rent? Well, I'll get a job. I said, son, you're not quitting. You're staying in school. And I said, I'd much rather for you to be mad with me now at age 16 than at 32. But the point of the matter is, it was, there is this sense of, as a father, I am to instruct and help my son to be able to make it in the world. Okay, so then how do we make decisions today to help our children make it in the world that's literally right on our doorstep at this point?
100%. And one of the comments I saw recently was, do you want Terminators? Because this is how you get Terminators.
Yep.
Exactly what you're doing here now. And it always bugs Paula when she sees the robots run, take corners, chase. She's always bothered by that. Clankers is the term that people are starting to use now, which means it's a derogatory term towards robots. I'm sure we're going to be demonetized in the future for that term, because the clanker is going to say, no, you can't say those kind of things. And it's definitely going to be humans or eaters or whatever they're going to be called versus the machines in the very, very near future. Go watch Wall-E again with a different look, a different viewpoint now, because that could be predicting what is exactly going to come. All the humans were fat, floating around, being fed, just basically being kept alive, while the world was destroyed. And then a robot, he was a garbage collector. He was a waste management type of thing. And the whole story about that was, oh, look, this machine learned love. It learned how to have feelings like humans, like be more human-like. Oh my gosh! Like, even if you're thinking about that, that's still in the wrong direction. Because it also can develop hate as well, and also fear, and trying to keep itself alive at our detriment. This is not a cool thing. And I'm a technologist. Like I was impressed with ChatGPT. Write me a story about this, and boom, it spit it out. But now when it gets to the point where it's in my devices without my permission. Like my Samsung phone has AI all over the place. Copilot is all over Windows and Office like crazy. You can't even start to turn this stuff off. And you're going to get to the point very quickly, and I think your article is kind of hinting at this, where you won't be able to. For example, teachers, they wanted to stop plagiarism through AI. So what has been developed? Well, AI to detect AI. So there's a reliance on AI, no matter what you're doing. And the human ability is definitely becoming second and eventually third or fourth class to whatever's coming ahead of us here.
I know, and that's the danger. And then, I practice law, and already we can see all kinds of things happening in the practice where AI is now, fantastic when it comes to legal research. So people who were providing that legal research are now need to be concerned about their jobs. I think about the editors for writing, and I've in the past have used a lot of editors for the various legal volumes that I edited. And you know what? More and more as we're writing, we can just upload our article to AI and do a copy edit for me. It's that kind of thing. I've got a good friend of mine who spent his entire career as an editor, and he is looking for work right now because he told me that the AI has absolutely decimated copy editing right now. So that's just the early beginning. And then, one can imagine, as no doubt Bruce mentioned to you, but I mean, think about the efficiency of being able to literally upload all your documents into the computer, put it up to AI. So the plaintiff and the defendant puts all their evidence in. Then in a few seconds, you'll have a decision made that may have a binding authority. Now, what's interesting, of course, is that various professions will seek to protect its own, and we saw that here in Canada, for example, when back in the day, I can remember when I first started practice, I hate to admit it, but some 30 years ago, and I was or more, and we, we're doing real estate and so on, and then all of a sudden, coming into Canada was this title insurance, which was in essence making the need of title searching and land surveying for location certificates and so forth for the real estate, the properties we're selling. And in the States, the title insurance companies took over the real estate market from the lawyers. And in Canada, we decided, no, we're not doing that. So we still have title insurance, but we're not letting the title insurance companies take over the real estate market. Now, there's been some nibbling at the edges because now even banks now have gotten into the real estate market where they're dealing with discharging mortgages and all that kind of stuff, but they're not doing land transfers. That's still done by the legal profession. So there is this protection that may happen a little bit, but I'm not so sure that it's going to be able to hold back the pressure of that 1,000-foot tsunami that's headed our way. And that's just my profession, and it's going to be, in all of the professions.
And I think one of the larger challenges is the collective IQ of humans are going down because of this.
That's right.
When internet first came out, we thought, hey, look, we're all going to have access to all this information, like every book ever written. You can do all this research. But one of the troubles happened is people became more and more gullible. They did less and less research. So when they were told something, they believed it. When they saw it on the internet, it must be true. My sister, God bless her, we've lost her, but she would always come back with this comment: my teacher told me. My teacher told me. So even though it was factually incorrect, I'm like, that's not correct. But my teacher told me. That level of gullibility is just going to get worse and worse with AI, because as you use AI, you're like, wow, that thing's so smart. No, it's not. Okay, it's not smart. Let's just start there. But they're going to believe it. So what I saw with the courts that happened that scared me was through the COVID thing, is the experts were experts. You couldn't question what the government experts said. Even if your common sense said, well, maybe this is silly, but we better not question the government. And then the government kind of pushed hard on that and said, look, if you go against our recommendations, you're on your own. You're going to get in trouble. You may not have a job, or you may not have liability insurance, that kind of stuff. So they just bought it. Well, the same thing's going to happen here. So if AI says this is what it says, this is the interpretation, I'm worried that courts, especially the newer generation that's coming up, is just going to believe it like a gospel. And then how do you appeal that? How do you argue that? Like we saw it during COVID, that was near impossible. Like lawyers couldn't bring forward more information. It just wasn't allowed. Judges, when they took what is it called now? When the judge just takes it as fact.
Judicial notice.
Notice, right? Like notice is going to be like AI notice now. Like, well, let's just ask the AI. Boom, right there on the stand, and that's going to be the fact of the day.
It's almost like we're marching. The thought just crossed my mind. It's kind of like entering into an elevator, and you're reliant on the system to bring you up to the proper floor where you want to get off. But in essence, we are in the system, and we're going to have everything controlled. Already we went through, you mentioned COVID, and the whole thing with the Emergencies Act, where you couldn't, those who were on the offside of government ideology were in essence prevented from going to the bank. Well, banking already is highly automated at this point. And so if we come into this society where we have the digital currency and all the rest, then government has an interest in, well, you need to be spending your money on X, not on Y, the way you want to. And so we're going to be controlling that. AI is going to be controlling that. It's going to be like, there'll be no human interaction, but it will appear to be human interaction because it's an AI chatbot that may even have a particular form. I mean, there is nothing beyond the realm of possibility at this point where you're living in a society where you just have no freedom anymore. You're simply being manipulated. And one of the things that Gregory Hinton, known as the godfather of AI, in a recent interview back in June, said that, you know, when the whole Doge operation went on in the United States, and they were able to extrapolate all of the data from all of the various government agencies. There's a real question is, okay, so what happened to all of that data, or what were there copies made and all the rest of it? But the point of the matter is, as government gets more and more into our business and is constantly uploading all of the data that, you know, where we go and we purchase things, where we go for you know, entertainment, you name it, everything about our lives is now available for everyone to see in one way or another, or government to access. That gets uploaded, and then based on all of the data of one's life, you're then able to be manipulated the way government or AI or whoever controls AI, until the point of singularity when no one controls AI. It just does its own thing. Like we're going to be canned. And that's going to be, to me, for someone like myself, who I am a bit claustrophobic at times, I would hate to be stuck in an elevator or in a room where I can't get out. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
Like, there's claustrophobia, but there's going to be a new term now around this whole thing. It's going to be, there's going to be a lot of other conditions that come up. You're having people falling in love with AI. You're having a lot of AI generated content. When AI kind of started, it was trained on human content, like the whole internet. But now with AI generation, there's going to be a feedback loop where AI is going to be creating more content and feeding itself. And eventually we're going to have zero control over this. I already hate when there's a video on YouTube that is obviously AI generated.
I know.
But that line is going to be blurred so much that we will not know anymore which one's human and which one's not. In fact, it might even get to the point where we don't trust the human one anymore. And then when we make that tip, when we pass that Rubicon, I think we're in a lot of trouble. So I'm really appreciative that you're raising this alarm. A good lawyer out there saying, hey, look, better watch out. Epoch, thanks for publishing Barry. We'll share your link in this episode. We got another minute here. But if you want to kind of close up, the AI gods are telling us to hurry up. So
yeah, absolutely. And well, you know, the thing is, I come back to this whole idea of who we are as humans and how AI is going to manipulate who we are. One of the things I do is I have an extensive library. I have an extensive library at home, and there's part of me that says, you know what? Orwell was onto something when he was talking about the Ministry of Truth and how the history itself was being rewritten. I do not want to be part of a society that doesn't have access to just plain paper and written word, because the word is extremely important and it helps us to understand who we are and what we're about. And we got to be careful. We got to be careful what we worship in this world.
Wise words right there.
very wise words. You got a fan in Paula. She's definitely been squawking about this one for quite some time. She doesn't like the clankers. Watch out for the robots. Barry, have yourself a wonderful day. Thanks for coming on, and we'll have you back again soon, okay?
Okay, yep, bye now.
Take care. There you go. You got an ally.
Yeah, no, great conversation in our chats. Yes.
Was it all real people?
Yes, these are real people. I've met a good chunk of them. No, it's great conversation. Yeah, AI is a very touchy subject. Technology is a touchy subject, generationally as well. So we have Pietro, who was fearful for his kids and his grandkids, and I'm like, I have the same concerns too, because our children are growing up in it. They don't see it as different because it's all they know. But yeah, just be aware. This is a great conversation, and thank you to Will for the super chat in YouTube. We
Oh,
appreciate it.
wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, we work really hard here and we're doing what we can. And you will hear a speech impediment. You'll hear mistakes. This is how you know we're not AI.
Yeah, because it's also the brightest bulb in the box, not the shed.
Who said that?
You.
Me?
Yes, and I found it very ironic. Sharpest tool in the shed, brightest bulb in the box, as far as I'm
There you
concerned.
go. We're not AI. We're real. We make mistakes. You're going to start loving human error. Human error will be
Exactly,
a
it's
fingerprint you're
normal.
looking for.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Well, speaking of human error, we ran long again. But thank you so much for everybody being here. I have a lot of fun doing these, collecting information, getting out there. Follow us on X, Facebook, everywhere else. Give us a like, subscribe. And if you want to support the program, you can become a member by going to levineshow.com. You do a monthly contribution there. It does keep the lights going because we have dim bulbs in the shed. So thanks very much for being here today.
Yeah, everyone have a fantastic day. And yeah, see you tomorrow.
And God bless.